Draymond, what do you kind of looking at that number, that 29 number? What do you think was kind of the root cause of a lot of those?
I think just got to do a better job of getting organized. When we got organized, we got into good things. When we didn't, we had too many possessions where we didn't get organized, and a lot of those led to sloppy turnovers.
Was, Steve keeps harping on the fouls, the turnovers. Is it getting frustrating? How do you feel like the team's kind of handling that?
I mean, we're losing games, so it don't really matter how you feel about the, sad things. You got to win games, so just got to figure it out.
What makes you confident that you guys can turn it around? Like, what specifically about this team?
I think we got all the pieces that we need in order to win. You look at some of these games we're losing. Just got to tighten up, tighten up in the margins. But, we know what it takes to win a championship, and I feel like we got all of those things. So.
The season's only like 22 games old, but do you feel some urgency?
I don't feel the urgency that we need to have, and that's on me. I'll be better at that, with that, making sure guys have the urgency that they need, but it hasn't been there. And you can't claim to lead in that department when it's going well and not lead when it's not going well. So I'll take that one on the chin. I got to make sure this team play with a better sense of urgency, and I will.
Why do you think that's been hard?
I don't know. There could be a ton of reasons, but one thing's for certain is no other team in the NBA is not dealing with some of the same things that we deal with. So you got to be mentally strong enough to figure it out. And those that do win, and those that don't lose, they lose close games. It's very fragile when you don't do that, and so just got to be better.
Did this game feel like the Sacramento game, or did it feel like any of these other?
No, each game is different. Each game presents its own challenges. And you got to take it game by game and figure out what you need to do to win that particular game.
I asked you about the turnovers, but 29. What are the ones, you guys are going to have turnovers over the course of the game, but what's just the ones that's like?
I mean, it's just the careless ones, right? You don't want to turn the ball over, leading the fast break points. They got 35 points off those turnovers, and we knew that coming into the game. They lead the league in points off turnovers, and we didn't do a good job of that. I think, the fact that we had 29 turnovers and still had a chance to win the game is nuts. But, it shows that if we can clean that area up, how good this team can be, and I'm confident that we will clean it up.
Draymond, obviously the Thunder over the last few years has been rebuilding. You guys have played a lot of competitive games within this year. All four of them were super close. What have you sort of noticed about this OKC team as they sort of become relevant now?
Oh, well, they got a great head of the snake in Shai. His first team All-NBA last year for a reason. Chet is will possibly be a generational player, and so you look at adding him to the lineup. And then Jalen Williams, guard Jalen Williams, is one of the most impressive players with the ball in the NBA. He can shoot the ball from three, mid-range, get to the rim. He's 6'8", he got size, he has strength. He can pass the ball, and so they present their challenges. And, comes down to a lot of times you have to sit down and guard one-on-one, but yet, you still got to keep your shell tight, and I don't think we did much of a good job of that.
What's your diagnosis on the Chet play to end regulation on the foul?
I thought, something that we've been talking about a lot, fouling while we're up 3, and so I was very hypersensitive to it. Like, I got to foul. You don't want to be the guy to get that 3 up. I personally thought that I got him before he started his upward motion. But I saw the replay too, and it's close as hell. And, regardless of if I did or didn't, if it's close, they're going to go with the call on the floor. The call on the floor is 3 shots. So I got to be better there. He's facing the rim. I can't foul there. I think, I jumped for the ball thinking I could get the steal, and it went a little over my head. On that, I just need to stay down and not get the steal, knowing I'm fouling him as soon as he starts catching the ball. So it's a mistake that a young guy should make, not someone in their 12th year. So.
Kind of leads me into the next question, which is you guys are obviously 4-time champs, have closed in every type of playoff situation, but lately, the last 3 road games, as an example, it's mistakes late. What's going on?
I think those mistakes late. mistakes happen at every point in the game. I don't so much look at the mistakes later and say that's why we lost the game, because how did we get in that position? You know, you look at all these games we're losing, we're in total control. You know, so I worry more about how are we getting to that space, not the plays down the stretch. The plays down the stretches usually comes from the things that you give up leading up to that. Often fouled on a three with whatever it was, but it's what we're doing leading up to these situations that's even putting ourselves in the position that we're in.
Are you talking that in a positive way of you got up that much, or in a negative way of like you turned it over this many times you let it back?
Both. Both. Can't turn the ball over that many times, can't foul that many times yet. We are doing a good job of building a lead. What do you have to do to sustain it? I think that's what we got to figure out.
Steve said it's still like this is still a championship group, but I kind of echoed it to me. I assume your belief remains that, but like, you know, is this you're 10 and 12, but it seems to be internally you guys still think this.
Of course. You know, we tricked off 4 games, like legitimately. All of a sudden, you don't trick those games off. You're 12 and 8, and everybody's like, oh man, you're sitting there in what, 2nd place or 3rd place, and everybody's great, right? So, like I said, it's a game of margins, and you got to win in the margins, and we haven't done a good job of that. But if we do, which I think we can and will, then you put yourself back in contention. But 22 games in, I don't think anyone's throwing in the towel.
Cool. Thank you.